Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello there. Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
girl. Welcome on this winning Wednesday. Hello.
Winning Wednesday because
Mhm.
we always win. Okay.
All we do is win.
Knew you was coming in.
I'm ready. That was a lot of fun, though. How are you, ladies, this evening?
I am wonderful. How about yourself?
So am I. I'm glad I am able to be here. I'm happy to be
Right,
here.
and I'm happy to be here.
We got
I,
our guest host, Shantae, in the
Woo!
house.
Yes, give it up for Shantae.
Shantae been
Thank you.
doing this
Thank you.
thing.
I was gonna say her government name, but I don't know if she going by
Oh,
that name.
honey, Pastor
So,
Keisha will put that thing out there
oh.
Listen,
at any place,
listen.
anytime.
That's why you can't tell people nothing. I don't even know how she know.
She put it out there
Well,
live too, several times.
you know why? You know why she knows? Because you were on the Real Life Talk Show a while back, and I think it was me, you, Pastor Kelly, and Pastor Keisha.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think that's when you divulged your real name.
Oh, were we talking about my daddy?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, because my daddy has the same. Well, we pronounce it different, but it's the same name. Yeah.
Yep. So that's where that came from.
You got
First
a
of
good
all, I
memory.
want to
That's
say hello to everyone who's joined in. But Miss Trazzy Jazzy, honey, she says so.
Is she
Y'all
on
sing
here?
on Sunday, and I emailed Jay-Z and the NFL entertainment team to have y'all sing the Black National Anthem next year because thank you, Miss Trazzy Jazzy, because the choir did do their thing this week. They
Yes.
did. Well,
I
last
saw
week.
a playback. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
see, look at Pastor Reggie. Look at
What
his
do you do?
comment.
Hey, see,
That's
there's always one.
always what. Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
the playback and I love the when Jazzy Lou when she directed
directed
the y'all were doing all this and
Yes.
doing all that. I was like, well, come on. We
community
need to
choir
get some
style.
exercises.
Right.
Come on. And y'all was following her too when nobody off.
Hey. Hey.
Why you shocked?
No, because you know how you be having that one or two people in the choir that you go this way and then they going this way and y'all
Right.
rocking off beat. But
Right.
everybody was coordinated. They were coordinated.
Everybody was recording. Honey, we weren't gonna have it no other way with Miss Jazzy Lou in front.
Come on.
I love her. Shout out to Jazz. Hey, honey bun. Miss Jazzy Lou,
Hey.
honey. So that's that choir background, that director. You know,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
when we come from those directors that don't play and get you together,
Yeah.
then it transpose over to you. And then because I love her expressions. She'll
Hmm.
smile, she's like, give me energy. But when she get into it, honey, you see that serious face, you see the eyes. I love it.
I ain't come to play, okay?
I didn't come to play with y'all. Come on. Give
I
me
ain't
some
come to play with
emotions. Come
y'all.
on. Do
Come
this
on.
move. Everybody gonna be on in sync. Okay.
Please.
But yes, it
She
was
like
great.
she didn't Joe Clark y'all, did she?
She didn't no, no, she didn't
No,
joke.
I'm just playing. I know she wouldn't do that.
Not
I'm
yet.
just playing. She say them some singers. See, when you got some singing singers, you can get anything out of them. So I
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
I love that.
What
That's
she say? And
awesome.
I am a praise and worship girl, not really big on gospel, but y'all saying that I opened my mouth. Yes.
And I walk.
Yes. Come on, Jasmine.
Oh, look what Pastor says, Bridget.
What do you say? What do you say?
She got some Cynthia
Uh-oh.
hands in her.
Yes, baby. Cynthia Hands. Woo.
Oh, that's my mama name,
Really?
Cynthia.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
I thought you was going to say hands. I'm like, okay, wait a
Right.
No,
minute.
That was our that's
no.
our old school director from
Yeah.
back in the old church, honey. She got them hands. Yeah.
Hmm.
She was awesome. Go ahead, y'all. I see y'all already tagging and sharing and caring and putting the names in. Thank y'all so very much.
Yep. Tag your life group, tag your people on your
Yes.
ministry with you. If you're in the choir, tag all those people that were rocking and
Hello.
rolling.
Mhm.
Tag them in the feed.
Absolutely.
Tag
Let's see
them.
who can out tag the other. Okay,
Yeah.
let's have a tagging contest.
You know what? I'm gonna give her like a little cheat thing for the tagging, okay?
Okay.
So I think last week Pastor started the noonday Bible study, right?
Mhm.
And so as I'm listening, I'm tagging and everything. So I did like the @ sign and I hit A. Every name that came up under A that I knew that was a partner of the church, I tagged them. And then I went to B. So I had probably tagged like 100 people, you know. So I don't know if people want to do that. It's I don't know.
Don't do that.
My mind works a little different, you know. I don't know.
Because you can tag 99 plus people. I
Yeah.
get them all the time, and I'll be like, Lord,
Girl,
somebody done tag me and they laugh.
I had to turn that off on my Facebook. I'm like,
Yes.
no, stop.
Right.
Okay. So when you're missing from the congregation, Leslie,
I be on YouTube, Pastor London. You always tag me, and I be right there on YouTube.
oh, see, I don't do YouTube.
And I got tired of saying I got tired of commenting saying I'm on YouTube. I was just like,
just in case, you know, you forgot. Yeah,
You're being thought about double. You know, that's all that is. You see your name a couple times and you're already on. Hey, that's some good stuff. They thinking about you. Tag my name. Not let me.
Now don't tag me on here.
Get him the Leslie story.
Right. Give him the Leslie story.
You know.
I don't even remember how it started, but my father's name is, we both spell our names the same way. His name is Leslie Carnell. My name is Leslie Shantae. My mom gave me the same initials as my daddy. So,
So technically, Leslie is your first name.
Huh?
Technically, Leslie is your first name.
Yeah, but nobody knows that except for people that. So you may hear Lance calling me that because we went to grammar school together. Okay. And then so nobody knows that except for if we went to school together and work. Because I don't let work be my middle name. Yeah.
Now, if your coworkers happen to be listening, you know, they're gonna find out.
They're not gonna try it.
They're not gonna try it. So Shantae, and you be looking like, just don't even answer him because you don't know
exactly.
Name,
just like some people in Lifeline, I don't even answer Leslie. Like,
but
it's a privilege to know Shantae because that's you know that's me. That's the professional side that you know.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But I always tell those who went to school with you because you will hear your full name. You in the grocery store? Is that Bridget Lynette Shorter? Like, that's somebody I went to school with because nobody will know.
Nobody knows.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we are happy to have you here, Shantae.
Thank you. Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, yeah, we see that you guys are sharing and caring, and thank you so much. We got some stuff to talk about, y'all.
Okay, look at what Trazzy said. She said, well, I'm gonna call you Shantae because I remember the devotion you did, and you talked about how you used to throw them hands, and I don't want those problems. So, hey, Shantae girl.
Right. We don't want no smoke. Okay? We don't want no smoke.
I've been delivered for the most part.
Ooh, you need that part, though. You need that part.
Oh, yeah.
For some people, yeah. I mean, we could do it in a sanctified way, but yeah, we need that part.
We'll try it.
Okay, so you get blown out of you get blown up on the tags because people don't know you on if you're on YouTube unless you put your name out there. But yeah, Shanae is not on here. Let me tag her. Like,
right.
I've been on.
Right.
I was on during the countdown. Waiting for y'all to show
up.
My
birthday twin, so they be tagging her on Sundays, and you know she there.
Right, like where's Shredder? I don't see her in the building.
In the studio and stuff.
Right, that's because she's backstage. She's just doing her studio work. Praise the Lord.
Well, I love it. We're on everybody's mind, and so Miss Yvonne Royale is doing her thing too. She got my family in there. Yes, come on, tag my people. Yes, thank you. Welcome everybody, y'all. Did y'all watch the Super Bowl?
I was in the air.
You was in the air?
So while we were coming back from Texas, we came back Sunday night. And so I watched some of it. I really don't know much about football, but I watched some of it. So yeah.
I watched. This a big thing in the Robinsons household. It's football is life on my daddy's side of the family. And it's really all sports, but especially football. Like if I told you the block my daddy lived in or the neighborhood, like you would be able to find his house because there's a big old Bears flag out there. There's a thing on the awning. Like we don't play about the Bears or about the football. We both had on our orange and blue, even though the Bears went nowhere in the Super Bowl, nowhere in the conference at all. Yeah. I saw you, Bridget. You had, we should have took a picture. I had on my Matt Forte jersey. You had in your Devin Hester.
Yeah.
Number 22, 23. Put that down, Pastor London.
So I mean, I'm just saying. See, what is that? Mahomes. Is his number there too? So this is my son's favorite favorite team. Wherever he goes, he follows. So I just thought, I just bring some of the Chiefs magic onto the stage today, But I don't care who won. I do like the Bears because they're from Chicago, but they need to get it together.
Yeah. And I don't give up on the Bears, unfortunately. Yeah.
No, I like the ones when they won the Super Bowl. I think I was in 8th grade when they won the Super Bowl. Was it 89? What year did they win? 85.
85?
When did the Super Bowl when was the last time that the Bears won the Super Bowl? Come on. Who can answer that?
That was I know I was in like 8th grade and I graduated from 8th grade in 88. So maybe it was before then, but we did the Super Bowl shuffle. Oh, she said 85.
1985. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
We did the Super Bowl shuffle.
Super Bowl shuffle.
Yes, Sharetta.
And I was the fridge.
What
I was the smallest one in there, but I was the fridge during the Super Bowl shuffle. I remember that.
What did Tracy say? Pastor made a comment a couple Sundays ago talking about we'll go see Mary J. Blige, who she can't even sing. But that lady in that all red sounds horrible. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We might as well. Matter of fact, do we want to show the clip first?
Yeah, let's show the clip.
Let's show the clip first, and we'll get back to that.
Super Bowl halftime show, and what a show we got from Rihanna. Michael.
Yes, we did, George. A great show indeed. She took the halftime show to new heights, literally. And our Kana Whitworth, she's here with me right now. She has more on the show. Good morning, Kana.
Good morning. I kept asking people, is she going to have a special guest? And boy, did she ever at the show. So really, Rihanna performing with authority, right, as a musical icon, but also with subtle nods that, yes, she is pregnant again. And it was no mistake that the soon-to-be mother of two started and ended her show alone on a floating stage at what her producers said was the top of the world.
Overnight, Rihanna making a surprise announcement. The superstar revealing she's pregnant with her second child in front of a packed stadium during the Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show. Her rep confirming her growing family to ABC News after she wowed fans from a floating platform in the sky while singing and dancing her way through the biggest hits of her career. Rihanna holding her own with a purely solo performance of her catalog in the jam-packed 13-minute show. Her partner, A$AP Rocky, cheering her on from the sidelines.
We were on a grass field, and that gave us some limitations with the type of set, the size of the set that we could have.
We had an open roof.
We had an open roof, and her team was like, why don't we just do it all in the air, or as much as possible?
Rihanna clearly enjoying the return to the stage, the billionaire mogul even taking a moment to touch up with some Fenty beauty during her performance. But the mother-to-be still barely breaking a sweat. And Rihanna wasn't the only star lending her powerhouse vocals to the biggest night in football. Kicking off the night, Emmy winner and Abbott Elementary star Cheryl Lee Ralph performing Lift Every Voice and Sing. and Babyface with America the Beautiful.
And crowned by good with brother from sea to shining sea.
And country music star Chris Stapleton bringing coaches and players to tears with his soulful rendition of the national anthem. And Oscar-winning Coda actor Troy Kotzer joining as an ASL interpreter.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
But it all culminated with Rihanna singing Bright Like a Diamond. Michael sat down with the Barbadian beauty just before she hit the field to talk about her triumphant return to center stage.
How did it finally feel for you to get back on stage, especially this big of a stage?
It's foreign. It feels foreign because it's not getting back on the stage like I've ever been before.
Like diamonds in the sky.
All right.
All
We got
right.
comments.
All
We
right.
got comments that Rihanna was cool. She does have hit for days. Anybody a Rihanna fan? Yeah, I'm
Now, so one song she sang, "We Found Love in a Hopeless Place."
mm-hmm.
I heard that song before. It's a catchy tune, but I didn't know that she sang it.
Okay.
And it was one more song that she sang that I'd heard before, but I didn't know it was her.
You didn't know it was
like,
her.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm like, I'm singing along. I'm like, okay, this who made this? So
Right.
that's not all them two songs I knew that she made either.
Yeah. Are you a fan, Shantae?
Not really.
Yeah.
Like if I listen to it, I usually hear her in the mall or something. You know, like if you're in the store.
Right.
And they playing those mostly pop songs or
I
whatever.
was say I consider her to be pop. Is she in the pop? Okay.
That's probably where I heard that "We Found Love in a Hopeless Place" from.
In the mall.
In the mall. And you learned all the words.
I don't know. I just know that little
lot,
chorus
Pastor
part. I just know that little chorus part, girl. I ain't no heathen.
People were talking about her performance and her being pregnant. Nobody knew that she was, pregnant. I guess it was revealed or whatever. I thought she did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rihanna has performed for forever. She gives a good show from the YouTubes and stuff that I've watched because I've never seen her live in concert. Mm-hmm. But she took it easy. This is her last time. That was her hurrah. And I'm leaving it all out here on the stage. I think that for that, I mean, I don't know what was majorly expected, and I don't know if she's being compared to, other Super Bowls. I know they always talk about Rihanna and Beyonce and that whole back and forth thing, but
yeah, on Twitter, because I told y'all I'm not really a Facebook girl. I'm really a Twitter girl or Instagram for pictures, but Twitter, that's all they did was compare the two, and I don't know why. Different genre. Well, I can't say
different. Yes,
it's just I don't know. I'm like it's unnecessary. Rihanna's Rihanna, and Beyonce is a performer in terms of like dancing. I don't think Rihanna does all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She may do a little choreography here and there, but she don't get down like that. She never has. So I don't know what they were expecting, especially when she's pregnant.
And she in the sky like that alone, for me, I would have been like, okay,
Now I was happy when I saw her in red. I was looking for horns. I'm so happy I didn't see any horns, especially because what happened with the Grammys and all that. So I'm like, is she gonna come out here like the devil too? What is really going on? So I kind of eased off of her. I'm like, okay, she ain't got no horns. Okay, so let me just see what she. But yeah.
Tracy, you just don't like Rihanna at all. I'm just going to assume. She say, yeah, one can sing and one can dance. But she does have hits. She
didn't say that. She said, yeah, one can sing and dance and the other has dot. Right. She said Rihanna don't have nothing. That's what she basically said.
She's not a fan at all.
Yeah.
Oh, the Grammys.
You see, I also think people and I think non-singers, like if you ain't riffing and running, then you think that somebody can't sing, and I don't think that's the case. Can she hold a note? Yes, but she
Yeah.
ain't. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't off, or she wasn't. So I don't know.
Yeah, she has a good tone.
Yeah,
She's not pitchy.
yeah.
I feel like her voice fits her music. It's easy to sing along with because sometimes people do too much. You can't sing along with them.
We're dealing with her accent. She's Bayesian,
Yes,
so
exactly. I think
Okay,
she
look,
did. Okay,
look what Mama Sybil says.
Say what?
There are no Tina Turner or Janet Jackson, period. And she drops the mic.
Drop that mic. I'm with you, Mama Proctor. I'm with you.
Ooh, that's funny.
I'm with you.
that is funny.
She is definitely a billionaire.
Right.
She is a billionaire, and
so she don't need it. I mean,
she work hard for the money, honey.
Yeah.
So
So you better
hard
treat
for
her
the
right.
Hello. Exactly. I would want her to come and show me the business and tell me. She is living proof. And also with it though, I love the first of all, I love Chris Stapleton. I'm just gonna say that. I love him. I love his voice. I sing at my wedding. Chris, if you watching, okay, when I get married, huh?
Were you crying?
No,
because some people, like the players, were crying when he was singing.
Yeah,
they were crying.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
And I didn't know if they were crying because of his voice or because of the national anthem. I'm like, all right, okay.
It was an emotional time. You know, they getting ready to put their all out on that field. And so I think the moment kind of created it. And then that soothing, raspy voice just for me, I just was like, okay, yeah.
Do you know anything other than Tennessee Whiskey?
I know of another song.
Okay.
I can only sing along with it if I hear it, but I don't know the name of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Tennessee Whiskey.
I'll put that Tennessee Whiskey on repeat.
He got some Tennessee bourbon too.
No, it's something. What's the lyric? It's something else bourbon in there. It's Tennessee
whiskey,
strawberry wine. Something.
I know my birthday twin know these lyrics. Smooth as Tennessee whiskey. Sweet as strawberry wine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Something else.
Brandy. He talks about whatever as a glass of brandy. Okay. He got all the drinks in there.
Caleb said he did his good church singing.
Honey, he gave y'all the little change of the key at the end. Honey, yes.
Now, do you consider Tennessee Whiskey country?
I guess.
See, I consider the sound more blues, and I guess the lyrics more country.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like it's more bluesy.
The lyrics are definitely country.
Yeah, the lyrics are
definitely country.
Yes, Sharetta, I did hear Kiki Wyatt's version of Tennessee Whiskey. I
heard hers too.
I know friends that can kill Tennessee Whiskey though.
Yes,
I want to learn that chorus, but I just never.
Yeah, Chris is the bomb. They trying to say he sang the national anthem, the greatest of all. Okay. No. His performance is nothing compared to that country singer last year. Honey. Sure, I don't even know if he even compared to when Whitney used to sing.
Whitney, right?
I'm like, we got a whole bunch of people that we did.
They go too much. They do too much. They go
must be some young folks that don't know that.
True. That's true.
That's all that is. Yes, good karaoke song. It sure is. It is the #1 karaoke song.
Sharetta said Marvin Gaye was the best.
Huh? Who?
Sharetta say Marvin Gaye was the best.
I'm gonna have to look him up.
I seen Marvin Gaye. I
didn't see his. I'm gonna have to look him up. Now we've heard some worse.
Yeah.
Shaka.
She did bad.
Oh,
baby.
Oh, see, I don't normally.
I was like, was it the national anthem that she sang, y'all? I was like, oh, Shaka, yeah. I love Shaka Khan though. I do.
But when didn't they say she was like high or was she
created or something? Yeah, I think you could tell.
This not that, y'all.
And then as far as the lip sync, because somebody put in there that they found out that, I think Linnea said that she just found out that they were doing most of the lip syncing.
I can believe that about Rihanna, but I didn't know that with Sheryl Lee Ralph. I didn't know that was the case with Sheryl Lee Ralph.
I think so. So one of the Super Bowls, they talked about that, how they do, because of the win element and all of that type of stuff, that they do sometimes lip sync. Like I don't think that that's abnormal. I think that they do that. Now I did, and I don't know if this is true or not, I did see some article that said that Rihanna didn't get paid for that.
Well, nobody gets paid.
Yeah, nobody gets paid. It's all about your exposure. You're an icon for be grateful and thankful that you own the Super Bowl.
Right.
However, she did wear her products. She did advertise that, which I think to me was very smart business.
Wait, was that her lipstick?
Fenty?
She advertised? Okay, because I saw her take that little break to do her lipstick and stuff.
Yeah.
So you have all these people watching. So yeah, that's a great promotion for your stuff.
But also the last couple years, ever since Jay-Z took over the halftime show, I don't know how it happened or what agreement him and the NFL did, but basically he became responsible for the halftime show. So that's why you have all these more of these Black performers. Last year it was Dr. Dre and Mary J. Blige, and then before that, so I don't know how much longer we get to have Black performers on the Super Bowl, but that's the reason why.
Okay.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I think I just recently heard that too, that JC was in charge of it now. Because I was like, oh, okay, we getting out. We getting out there. I gotta say, Marvin Gaye made it sound like you was listening to one of his. I love his voice too.
Yeah.
Somebody had commented that his version was 20 minutes long when he did it.
Yeah, Lord, today, Jesus, what in the world?
But I mean, by the time they get through doing all jazzing the national anthem all up, like
right,
it's definitely churched up.
Right. You know how
harmonic solo.
Yeah, you have somebody shouting over the national anthem. Somebody, home on the free. Home yes, we free.
She loved Cheryl, but that 1962 Dream Girls version of the Black National Anthem was a hot mess.
Travis put a mic in Tracy's phone, and
I know,
because I need to hear
everybody tonight.
Right.
She did give you dramatics though.
Yes.
I know it was lip sync because she took the mic further away. You hear her just as strong.
Yeah.
I tried to watch her mouth with the words.
I did too.
Yeah.
I'm like, did anybody even know she could sing until the awards?
Right. Like, okay.
Yes, please, like her phone.
Sharetta say, so who do you like?
Right. She said she liked Chris. She said she liked Chris. But I loved that they featured the American Sign Language guy, what's his name? Troy Concert or whatever it was. I was like, okay, I don't remember seeing that before. And I know it's been shown before, but that was the first time I paid attention to it. I said, okay.
So where was the Black girl that didn't come out till afterwards?
Yeah. It
was her TikTok that made her famous.
Right. I don't know. Was she late? What happened?
Yeah, she was supposed to be there.
No, she was signing. She was doing doing ASL for. I know she did it for Rihanna, and she did it for, I don't know, was it Babyface doing America the Beautiful, or she did it for the Black people, but I don't know.
Maybe she was on break.
Right. Shanae Fergie was horrible. She did that for but that was for a basketball NBA championship, I think. I don't know if it was for a championship. Man, it was awful.
I'm gonna have to go back and look up.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna send you the clip because the basketball players were laughing. They couldn't hold it in.
Oh, I need to
send it to me too.
Oh my God. I'm sure as soon as we get off, I am going to. It was awful. It was god awful.
Okay, she may go down in history as the worst.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think it could get any worse than that. And she tried to, and yes, that okay. Now here I can agree with you for the first time for tonight. Fergie can sing, but she was trying. I don't know if she was trying to do it like, most of us do it or whatever. But she was trying too hard, trying too much. It was god awful. It was awful.
Have we ever heard her sing acapella before? Was it because it was acapella too? You heard the real her? I've never seen her in concert, so I don't know.
I don't know, Bridget.
You got no auto tunes, no studio versions.
Oh my goodness, it is, man.
But it was
I can't. Like, I could never watch
it was
that.
All-Star. It was the All-Star game.
Oh, All-Star, man, and they was laughing. When I tell you and you know that laugh when you try to hold it in, it makes it worse. The basketball player
start snickering and
because when it comes out, it's real bad.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey, go Chiefs. I was rooting for the Chiefs for one because my niece, her boyfriend works for the Chiefs. So I was like, go Chiefs, go. Yes. Yeah, shout out
for Jalen Hurts.
Go Chiefs.
Oh, you was rooting for the other one.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. So it wasn't really for the Eagles, even though the Eagles won a couple years ago. I was really super happy, and I had just landed in Philadelphia. But I think I was more so rooting for Jalen just because of his college career and all the stuff that he had been through and stuff like that. So, but yeah, my daddy won $1,800 off the game.
Come on, Daddy.
So people were betting against the Chiefs. Because did y'all hear, I think in the post-game show, Mahomes was with another white guy, I don't know who he was or whatever, but he said, y'all bet against us. He said, the next time when we say we're going to win, y'all better bet for us or something. I'm like, oh, you big man.
But don't everybody say they gonna win?
Uber driver actually, when we were on the way home, the game wasn't over. So our Uber driver was like, well, who won? We was like, well, such as the Chiefs are up or whatever. He was like, oh, he said a lot of people gonna lose money because a lot of people bet on Philadelphia. Yeah. I'm like, wow. So people lost their money.
Yeah, my daddy definitely. I was on my way home from his house because the Super Bowl party is always at his house. And I was on my, and he texted me. No, he called me. I won $1,800. I was dropping the baby off at home. I won $1,800. I was like, okay, so you want to Zelle me?
Right. What's my cut?
That man told me, let me know when you make it home. I was like, question not answered.
Right.
I need my cut. Wow.
Yes, y'all. Okay, well, again, congratulations to the Super Bowl winners. This was Super Bowl 57?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Both teams in it. It was a good game though. It was a good game. I don't know about, look, my brother played football. We used to go see him. So, and my nephew, all of them, but I don't really know about it. I just cheer for whoever I think it win. But I did like the fact that it won like 3-49. Like sometimes it was an actual game. It was like, neck and neck. Everybody was like in it.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Well, that's sports talk with the girls.
Sports talk, right?
You can do the sports review. Look, don't ask about names of people and what position they play. We gonna talk about half shows and who sang and
we'll come back with the sports once we get to the NBA playoffs. Like
now the NBA, I'm with
whatever.
You. There you go. Because I'm a basketball fanatic, so we could do that. Yes.
Yeah, we can do that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, y'all keep on watching. Keep on watching. Keep on
watching. We have some special things ahead, so keep on watching. Keep on tagging. Keep on sharing.
Shantae, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, keep watching. We love you guys.
Love y'all.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday service. It's so great to have you here. My name is Audrey Lee, and I'm going to be sharing with you some health nuggets because it's all about living disease free this year in 2023. And we have the power to do that. But before we get started, I just want to pray, bring us all in on one accord, because sometimes this topic can be a little bit heavy. And I just want to make sure that you're in tune, that you're tapped in, get your pen and papers ready, take pictures if that's the way you learn. But whatever you do, most importantly, get this information because people are leaving here so quickly that we need to make sure that we know what we need to do to make sure that we live long and strong. So, Father God, we just thank you this evening, this time that you've given us. We thank you, Lord, for just wrapping your arms around us. We thank you for sending a comforter, the Holy Spirit, to guide us, even when it comes to our health. So we would do what it is that you would have us to do, even when it doesn't make sense to our natural mind. That's the difficult thing because, the devil is like a roaring lion, as the Bible says, seeking who he may devour. And he's gotten some people that we love, people that probably didn't understand what was going on because the Bible also says that we perish for the lack of knowledge. But Lord, we're so grateful and thankful that you're speaking to us loud and clear so that we can hear what it is that we need to hear and do what it is that you would have us to do. So I ask that you speak to each and every one under the sound of my voice, including myself, those nuggets of information that you need us to know and hear so we can govern ourselves and tailor make it so that even though we're all hearing the same message, that it goes out just the way we all need to hear it. And we thank you, Lord, for the manifestations of healing that will come about, whether it's for ourselves, a family member, a loved one. But most important is for us to be better stewards so we can fulfill the assignments that you called us to do. And for you, Lord, and to you we give you the glory, the honor, and the praise in Jesus' name. Amen. So tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about giving yourself the royal treatment because that's really what it's all about. And when we talk about the royal treatment, I want you to think of yourself as being royalty because you are. And even though you may not feel like it, and even you may think you don't even look like it, but this year, this is a year of being debt free in 2023. Now, Pastor already told us it's about discipline. And so this kind of lines up with that when it comes to our health because we need to be disciplined in everything we do, especially in our health. So we're going to get the opportunity to do that. Now, as I share with you this information, I want you to know that it's shared in love because we all love our family members, even when they do the wrong things. And God loves us too. But I want you to know that this is a message that every church should be shouting from the rooftops because we all need to be in the pews, but we need to be well so we can hear. So I have a question. Why are some Christians fat, sick, and nearly dead? I put Christians up there because I'm talking to you. And some of us are in that space. And it says in the Bible that we perish for the lack of knowledge because this knowledge I'm sharing tonight, a lot of people don't know. And some people don't know that they don't know. That's the worst part. In 1 Corinthians 10:31, it says, therefore, whatever you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God. So I want you to think about your choices when it comes to food. Are you good all the time? No, because we can't be. Sometimes we're in situations and places where we're not able to do that. So every time you eat or drink, you're either eating to feed disease or fight disease. But one thing you do know and will know is that you have the power to overcome. Now, there are some things that you must know because there's some toxins that are around you that are opening the door and destroying you. These toxic culprits are just taking your health and you have the power to take it back. Now, the last time I spoke, we talked about fat. Today, I'm going to talk about sugar because these are some things that are eating you alive. And it doesn't have to. See, when you decide to take care of your health, you give yourself permission to live. I'm going to say that one more time. When you decide to take care of your health, you are giving yourself permission to live. because you have the power to do that. God gave you the power. And so you need to take control of it. You see, when we first got here, we were made flesh before we even became spirit, because we were a flesh being before we even knew the Lord. And even the Lord told us that, as it's been written in 1 Corinthians 15:45, so it was written in scripture that the first man, Adam, became a living soul, an individual. And the last Adam, Christ, became a life-giving spirit, restoring the dead to life. And it even tells us that the Lord created man out of the dust of the earth, and then he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. It's amazing to know how we even got here, what we're made of, but we have to know how to take care of ourselves. So a question that a lot of people ask me, what is going on? Why are Christians getting sick? Well, they're no different than non-Christian. Many children of God have experienced sickness in a certain degree. We all have, whether it's been a cold, whether it's been diabetes, arthritis, even cancers. A lot of people think that because they are not mobilized or have been diagnosed with a disease that they're not sick. But when you are continuously on any kind of form of medication, you are still sick, because the root cause of the problem is not being addressed or taken care of. Even though the symptoms are being addressed with a drug or medication, that's not the answer. It's not. So here's some biblical facts, because I want you to know that God wanted us to live a long life. So there are some dietary changes that were made after the flood. Remember that. In Genesis 5, it talks of how man lived to be over 900 years young, old, but young. And then in Genesis 11, man lived to be between 200 and 500 years of age. In Genesis 25, Abraham lived to be 175. And then in Genesis 50 and 26, Joseph lived to be 110. We know that there have been some people said to live at least that long. In Psalms 90, we were given 70 years and some 80. And then in Genesis 6:3, it says, his days shall be 120 years. And that's what we all believe in God for. But you don't want to just be hanging around. You don't want to be just lasting. You want to be living. And now I have to say, as a precursor, that people live this long on a meatless diet, where man lived to be 119 years old without a single record of sickness or an instant. And studies show that even today, in the world that we live in, that our children will even die before our parents due to dietary food choices. Now, there'll be other reasons, but some will be due to selection of the wrong food. Now, just as a refresher, I told you ain't nobody got time for fat, right? But it is your choice, right? It's your health and your choice. And these are some of the fatty foods. Now, we talked about these, but we were also on a consecration at the time. So hopefully these things were not plaguing your plate. But I want to just clarify a couple of things here, because one of the foods on here was peanut butter. I know I kind of shocked a lot of people when I talked about it, but I just want you to remember the type of peanut butter I'm talking about was the peanut butter that's toxic on the market. There are some natural nut butters or peanut butters, from almonds to cashews to even peanut butters that they make right from blending it and putting it right in your jars. Those are safe. Those are okay. They're not good, meaning they're not the best on the list, but they're okay to eat. Just don't use the ones that have added oils and added sugars, because it's just like eating the foods that you're looking at on the screen. Okay. Now, as we continue to talk about some of these foods, let's look at some other things that we're recommending that you definitely don't want to eat. Now, my screen isn't forwarding for me. Okay. Hold on a moment. Not sure why my screen isn't forwarding. Okay. So, as we talked about some of the things that are not good for our bodies, we talked about fat, but I'm going to tie in fat and sugar so that you know tonight. But the reason why fat is really bad for us is because nobody wants to wear fat, because it's dangerous to do that. When the fat gets into the body and gets inside of the body, it's called visceral fat. And this is the fat that's underneath and around the organs. And although it may seem to be a protection, it's actually very harmful to the body. And in general, it shows that how when we eat foods, we become the foods that we eat. And we weren't created to do that. Next slide. I guess I have to say that. So make sure that you're conscious about the foods that you're eating, but make sure that you don't load your plates up with a lot of fat. Okay. I don't know why my screen is. Thank you. Okay. So when we're talking about abdominal fat or fat-driven fat, this is actually inflammation in the body. And when we're inflamed, the body's in pain. And when the body's in pain, that's a sign to you that there may be some dis-ease, maybe sickness, but for sure symptoms. And those symptoms can be in the areas of asthma, maybe an enlarged prostate, coronary artery disease, thrombosis, diabetes, cancers, erectile dysfunction, leukemia, and so many others that the doctors will tell you or diagnose you with. But it's your responsibility to pay attention to where those symptoms and signs are and find out the things that you need to do to turn it around. Okay. Next slide. So I'm going to share with you something called the hierarchy of nutrients. And there are some nutritional needs, there's 7 of them, that are optimal for the body to function well. They start with water. And we talked about last time how there's no calories in water. So it's good. Then we have carbohydrates, amino acids, which are proteins, fatty acids, vitamins, minerals, and even enzymes. These are all important for our bodies to function at optimal levels, but they must be in and taken in on a daily basis. So when we're looking at these nutrients, there's a health delivery that goes into our bodies. And if we don't take them in properly, they can lead to a place that we didn't pack for. That's what I want to say. So to the left, we see where wellness is. That's where you have dynamic vitality. You have optimal health in these 2 categories. About 5% of the people are in dynamic vitality. That means that's a person that you see that can eat everything they want to pretty much, and they don't seem like they gain a pound. There's not very many people in that category. And when you fall on this side of the line, we call this lifestyle medicine because of what these people are probably eating. But if you tend to be on the right side, and you can judge yourselves, I'm not judging, but there are people that are in a 70 to 75% category. That means they're at suboptimal health or debilitating illness. There's about 5% on either side. So there's some people that just have bad genes. They just seem that they just can't catch a break, right? And then you find out that these people have traditional health choices, which means that they actually are governing their health according to the foods that they're eating or what they're doing. And that's not where they're making the best choices. Okay, so we got to pay attention to that. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So as we talk about the hierarchy of nutrients, and nutrients are the nutritional things that you get to choose. God wants us to thrive, not just survive. He also wants us and gave us the highest quality of foods in order to do that in its most easiest available form. And the foods that God gave us give us all the nutritional needs that we need to have. So it's important to know how we're supposed to get those into our bodies. Okay. So the hierarchy of nutrients also tells us that there are certain categories that God gave these foods to us. Now, these may not be foods that are ingestible, but they are nutrients that our body needs. And in the Bible, it tells us how they got to us, in case you have never read this. And these are some of the highest quality nutrients that you can take in. So in Genesis 1:1, 27, the first nutrient that he gave us was air. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. God breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And then the second one was water. Our bodies are 70% water. And not only are the elements in the world that we're around, the world is about 70% water, but it says, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. If thou knewest that the gift of God, he would given thee living water. And that was found in Genesis 1 and 2, and then in John 4 and 10. Now, the third nutrient is sunlight. Sunlight is very important enough that we need to have it every single day. And I know you may live in climates where there's not a lot of sunlight where you are, but if you can get outside for just a little bit of time, maybe about 10 minutes a day, you're actually giving your body that natural vitamin D that we need to get from the sun, because that's our doctor in the sky, versus taking it by pill form. It says in Genesis 1 and 3 that God said, let there be light. He maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good. And it doesn't matter how good or bad you are, the sun is there for your nutritional needs, and you need it because it's a part of how your body lives. And so this is very important. Now, the fourth one is earth. The earth, the ground, the soil around us. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And in the earth are all the nutritional needs that our body needs, because that's where our food is found, our original food from the original plant. And we want to make sure that we have those every day. So when we think about what that looks like, hold on 1 second. Let me just back up for a moment. Okay. We're thinking about the fruits and vegetables that grow right in the soil. And if man was created from the soil, isn't it surprising that when we die, we're going back to the soil, we'll turn back to dust of the earth? But our food, when we compost it, it goes back into the soil, and we can eat over and over again without having to worry about our bodies deteriorating. This is really, really important. So let's look at some of the fruits and the basic nutrients that we should have. Now, I mentioned that the first tier of food would be air, and that's the leaves of the tree, which provide oxygen for us. That's why it's important when you're outside that you breathe that good oxygen into your body, because your body needs it. And so when you see people outside with masks on, and I'm not, harping on people that wear masks, but when you're putting a mask on, there's nothing around you but trees, you're cutting off your own oxygen supply that God provided for you. You're not going to get sick from the trees, but you could get sick from things around you. So make sure you don't cut off your oxygen supply while you're outdoors. Then your water, it's high water content, which is important because all of our cells need water. I'll show you a picture of what that looks like in just a moment. And then we also need sunlight, because sunlight is locked into every seed. That's why he talks about us eating the seeds of the tree. Yeah, that's so important because that's where life is. And when we are putting water and the soil and the sunlight, those nutritional attributes that we have give us all the nutritional factors that our body needs. And then, yes, the earth. It provides, which is dust, man's optimal diet and how it's actually prepared and produced for us. I know that this is something that many people probably never seen, but it provides all the basic nutrients in the highest quality, easiest available form, and it's designed in the original plan for man to thrive. So when we talk about the hierarchy of foods, now we just talked about the basic nutrients. Now we're talking about the ones that we have the control to do. These other things are already here and ready for us to use at any time should we take advantage of it. But what about the foods that we get to choose that become our edible food? Let's look at what those look like. The first one is fruit. And it says in Genesis 1 and 29, the original diet, it says, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed and every tree in which is the fruit. To you it shall be for meat. The more we eat fresh fruits, as is picked from the tree or the vine or out of the ground, the greater our body will feel and the sooner our bodies will heal. This is so important. And if we look at the word, you know, that it shall be meat, it shall be food. We have to look at what that word really means. And a lot of us have misconstrued it and thought it meant a pork chop. And that's really not what it means. There are no pork chop trees outside, no chicken trees. They're fruits with color and vibrancy. But when we look at how God created man, he took that dust and he formed man out of it. Okay, so the earth would have all the elements, the sun shining on that. The sun is like your oven on the outside, creating and cooking your foods, making them ripe and ready to eat. And we need to eat real food. And did you know that vegetables or fruits are the only food that God created that actually can eat dirt? Because that's where it grows. That's where, you know, the plants and things grow, and they're there. They're actually being created for us. And they're the first things that we need to use. I don't care what diets in the world that we're on, all of them require that we eat the basic plan that God originated. And we have to get used to eating those things. So when we think about fruit, think about a cocktail of nutrients. Okay, because when we look on the ground and we see all the colors, the vibrancy, the beautifulness, when we pull it all together, when we're creating something and bringing it to an event, we can see all of God's wonderful creations right there on the plate, and they all provide certain things for our body's health. These are the basic nutrients. So we look at this hierarchy of nutrients. I want you to remember these things. So we talked about how people can have abundant health, but they also can have degenerative health or disabling health or disabling illness. But you have the power to determine where you fall on this chart. Where do you want to be? We can't just take for granted that we get air, water, and sunlight and the earth that provides all of our foods for us. In those foods, there's some other things. We talked about the fruit, but I thought I'd just pack it all in and not present too long on all these foods because you do know about them. We know that vegetables are very important for our body, and then also nuts and seeds. And if you look, these are optimal health foods, okay, because they provide a general sense of well-being for us. They're biochemical, they're bioenergetic balance, which means the energy is in there. They're live, and they bring life back into our bodies when we eat them. Now, these other foods I'm going to talk about, that doesn't mean you can't eat them, but you just need to know, like I shared with you, how in our last presentation, how water has the most food, and all the foods that have the most water in them give us the best nutrition. But that doesn't mean the other foods that we're able to eat don't provide anything. Okay. So if you want suboptimal health, sometimes people end up with degenerative diseases because they eat more of these foods and less of the foods that they should eat. Okay. And that would be your grains and legumes, because these have to be cooked. Okay. And I don't want to say destroyed, but the nutrient or top nutrients are removed from them, because even with your beans, you need to soak them, and your grains if possible, because you give them better digesting power when you do that. Okay. And then, of course, there's your flesh foods, your dairy. And yes, the foods are in bags, packages, boxes, jars, and cans. Those are considered processed food. Anytime you got to bring a food in, you got to prepare to eat it out of a bag. You might want to think twice about, well, should I might add a few live things to this meal, because you may not be eating the top quality foods that you could be eating. Now, I said that our bodies are 70% water. And when I say that, I need you to look at the body and all of the organs that need water to survive. Your kidneys, your heart, your brain, liver, skin, blood, bones, muscles, lungs, joints, and lymph. All of your body. Was anything left out? Because we think about how your brain is even composed of 75% water. It regulates your body temperature. It makes up your blood, helps to remove waste. We even need to drink water to even remove the waste out of our body. So water is very, very important. That's why it's one of the highest nutrients that our bodies can take in. And it's calorie free. It helps us so that it can fill in those gaps when we're hungry, but we got to make sure that we're taking it in. Okay. I know you're not in a science class. You may feel like you are, but that's okay. So you can give yourself the gift of life. How? By eating more plant foods. They're God's manufacturing facilities that He provided for sustaining mankind after He formed man from the dust of the earth and breathed into his nostril the breath of life and gave us plants to maintain us, this awesome creation that we are. But is there a clue that God left in some of the foods that He created for us? I call it God's pharmacy. I want to say, let's take off the PH and make it an F, because it's the foods from the farm that He really created. They're colorful, they're beautiful. And when we see them, they cause us to want to eat them. I call our fruits God's original candy. They really are when they're good for us. But is this a coincidence or by design that the foods that we eat kind of look like our body? When we look at the tree of life, it looks like the human placenta. When we look at a tree stump, it kind of mimics our fingerprint. When we look at a tree branch, it kind of looks like our lungs. And then when we look at a river, our veins, they look like the veins on a leaf. God is amazing. But let's look at some of the things that He was telling us. And why would we eat some of these foods? We know that we've been told that carrots are good for our eyes. I bet you didn't know how important tomatoes are for your heart, or walnuts looking like your brain, and even an avocado taking 9 months to ripen, just like a baby takes 9 months to arrive. God knew what He was doing. It says in God's pharmacy, which is amazing, that a slice of carrot does look like the human eye, and it greatly enhances blood flow to the eye. A tomato has 4 chambers. It's red. And like the heart, a tomato is loaded with lycopene, that is pure heart and blood food. But the walnut, it looks like the brain, a little miniature walnut. And it helps develop more than 3 dozen neurotransmitters for brain to enhance their brain function. And grapes, they hang in a cluster like the shape of a heart, and it looks like blood cells and are profound in blood vitalizing food. Grapes are really great to detox and cleanse, by the way, in case you didn't know that. Whenever you just want to go on, you probably never heard of it, on detoxes, you can go on an all fruit detox. Just eat grapes, nothing but grapes. There's so many different kinds. You can watch and see your body heal and transform no matter what kind of illness that your body has. And it has nothing to do whether you're dealing with any kind of things like diabetes or things of that nature. You're eating one food. They call those mono meals. And those are important because the body recognizes this food to go and do what it's created to do, but it's also a cleansing of the body because the body knows that you're detoxing. And then the beans, they're kidney beans. They are shaped and they heal and maintain kidney function, looking just like the kidneys. And then sweet potatoes, the reason why they're so good is because they look like the pancreas, and they're really good to balance the glycemic index for those dealing with diabetes. Celery. I know it may not be your favorite fruit, but did you know that this food specifically targets the bones and strength? So that's why they look kind of like your bones. And last, citrus fruit. It looks like the mammary glands of a female, and they're very good to help with breast and movement of the lymph in and out of the breast. So we need to listen to what God created. There's so many more I could have chosen, but I just chose a few so that you can see the amazingness of God's food. So let's get back to the food we're going to talk about tonight, because being healthy is a choice. So tonight, let's talk about sugar. Is it good? Is it bad? Remember, we're talking about giving yourself the raw treatment, and we're going to find out whether this is just what that's doing for you. Okay? So what does sugar do to your body? Have you ever thought about it? What does it really do? Sugar and the problems with it. There are some problems with sugar, and I'm talking about white sugar first of all. Americans on average take in about 270 calories of sugar every day, and that's about 17 teaspoons compared to the recommended 12 teaspoons per day, which is about 200 calories. Sugary drinks, candy, baked goods, because some people have what they call that sweet tooth, never seen one, but whatever it is, you need to pull it out and get rid of it. And then sweetened dairy products. These foods can be dangerous for the body. They're savory, like breads, tomato sauce, protein bars, spices, and just taking sugar in the body in any form causes problems, major problems. Sugar can be so hard to spot on nutrition labels because sometimes it's not listed by the name that it actually is. You can find it in other things like corn syrup, agave nectar, palm syrup, sugar, I should say, sugar cane, high fructose corn syrup, sucrose, and so many more words that we can't even pronounce. But sugar is the number one weapon that Satan uses. And since he's a ruler over the earth, he's got a lot of us tricked. And he's not letting us go either, okay? Sugar is actually the number one legal drug that a lot of us have found ourselves on, and some of us are addicted to it. It's found in many of the processed food, just about every processed food, your baked goods, your commercial drinks, and we've been tricked. We've been bamboozled. And some of these foods may be in your home. And they didn't find their way there. They didn't burglarize your home to get in there. Some of us bought these foods in our home, but we didn't know what we were doing. And so let's look at some of the sugar effects that sugar does have on children. It can cause diabetes, lower concentration in children, cause stomach aches, suppresses the immune system. It contributes to eczema. It can cause learning disability in teens and in children. It can cause allergies, and it's linked to asthma. But let's talk about what sugar does to adults, because we find ourselves having to have a sweet after a meal. We've been trained, a lot of us, to do that. You ever go to a restaurant? What are you having for dessert? Or are you having dessert? And sometimes you're not even thinking about it, but you find yourself, after they bring it out and show it to you or describe it to you, you find yourself looking down and there it is on your plate. But here's what's happening to your body when you take in sugar. Number one, at the wrong times and the wrong type. You see, the brain, sugar can rewire the brain's pathways. Diets full of sugar can increase the risk of depression by 58%. In the heart, sugar inflames the lining of the heart arteries and increases the body to the risk of a stroke and even a heart attack. Sugar in the skin, you're going to see a picture of how bad it actually works on the skin and bombards our body, protein, and it anti-ages. It ages our skin, causing really bad wrinkles. For the kidneys, sugar overload can damage our delicate filtration system, causing diabetes and sometimes kidney failure. For our genitals, a lot of men and sometimes women have problems in that area due to blood flow. And then for your joints, we call it pain and inflammation, arthritis, or any of those itises. When this sugar gets into our bloodstream, it can just cause haywire on our joints. So when we think about inflammation, it's not just our joints, okay? Because it also can cause gut issues. It's not a food we can digest well, because it can be filtered in with genetically modified foods, found in lots of those, causing skin issues. When we put it in our coffee, in our soda drinking, causing emotional stress. And it's just a chemical that we have put in our food. And the diseases that it causes from the sugar intake, so many symptoms like hypoglycemia, metabolic syndrome, dizziness, tooth decay, allergies, cholesterol, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, ADD and ADHD, cardiovascular disease, and colon and pancreatic cancer from too much sugar. It's too much. And then sugar, visually, after one gets something called diabetes, they end up dealing with all these kind of physical problems due to the side effects of the disease, but the cause of it was sugar. They've been put on medication. They find themselves overeating because the signal no longer gets to the brain, letting them know that they're hungry, or that should say that they're full. I'm sorry. Taking in too many sweetened drinks when we really shouldn't be doing that, because when we're taking in sweetened drinks, we're eating our drink as a food. You become inactive because you don't feel like moving around. Your gut gets out of balance, including your hormones. And then if we add smoking to it, sometimes causing smoking, or if we stop smoking, then we end up eating more sugar. Some people, it's a genetic situation. And then for last, not least, but people end up not being able to sleep. Look at what sugar can do to your skin. And I've seen people that look like this, but I never knew it was, some of the reasons was because they were eating sugar. Now, we've all seen this from taking in too much sugar. And this is a baby. We don't want to cause children. See, we just celebrated a holiday called Valentine's Day. Did you give them a gift to show them you love them, or did you give them something called sugar? And then sugar, eating sugar as a food is something that's very, very dangerous. If you never heard of an acronym called AGE, that's advanced glycation. And this is where it actually is called a Maillard reaction. That's sugar plus protein because it's heated. These things start to happen in the body, in your joints, in your skin, and also in your eyes, attacking your eyes. We've seen people that look like this, right? But I want you to know there's good news on the way, okay? Don't just freak out because I'm telling you can't do this, because there's a way of escape. Satan ain't got you. We're going to turn this thing around. But I want you to see how you'll be able to do that. See, there's something called lipemia, and this is where when we eat a sugary food mixed with a fat, it actually clogs up our blood in our body, okay? And it gets into our arteries, and some of our arteries, after eating this fatty, sweet meal, are so thin, like the hair on our head, that nothing can get through there. But if you ate foods like what you see on the left, you can clear it out. Yeah, cut back on your breads. Cut them out if you can. Eat more soups that are full of beans and vegetables and things that your body recognizes. Have a small salad at least every day, if not a large one for sure, because these are the things that will reverse the curse that the enemy tried to bring upon you. You have the power to do this. All you have to do is do it. Now, we're talking about carbohydrates. They said we shouldn't eat carbohydrates, but what do you think runners fuel themselves on? Carbs. They fuel your cells. And you can eat as much of them until you're full, but they need to be complex carbs. They can't be simple carbs, which I'm talking about cookies and cakes and biscuits and pies. And I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the carbs that you see right here. Fruits, beans, grains, yams. These are good carbs for your body, and they will not turn you fat. Right, they won't. They're whole, high carbohydrate fueled foods that you can eat, and you'll feel good because you do. Eat high quality foods when you do them. They're high, that are high in fiber, high in water. They decrease fat eating. They're not white sugars. There's no chemical sweeteners in there or substitute sweeteners in there. And they're good for you. These foods that you see are foods that I eat, foods that I create. And you can too. Take a day and set aside and keep your belly full of these water-filled, calorie, fiber-rich foods. And if you're trying to lose weight, these are definitely the foods that you want to eat. And if you are still trying to figure it out, or you're on the fence about it, just do it for 7 days and see how your body feels. It's going to thank you in those 7 days. I promise you that. But the key to the modern day obesity, the problem is something that maybe some of you have never heard. It's called oxidative stress that's occurring. See, if you eat sugars and fats at the same time or within 4 to 6 hours of each other, you will burn the sugar and store the fat. Can I say that again? You'll burn the sugar, but you'll store the fat. That's why I talked about fat first. A lot of people didn't understand. And our people always say, that's that lady that don't want, look, I know I'm not the lady. It's God that doesn't want you to destroy your temple, not me. I'm just sent as a messenger. So don't shoot me in the foot. All I want you to do is get up off of your duff, get it back in the kitchen, and create the foods that will bring life and add years to your life, and then life to your years. So when we look at these sugar and fat foods, yes, I'm talking about fried chicken and fries, hamburgers and French fries, pasta with oil-based dressings, and desserts. You can't always eat these things. There's some better ways to eat some of these, but you got to follow the rules, okay? So when we eat sugar and fat, it's actually harmful eating. So instead of eating that peanut butter and jelly sandwich, that bacon and eggs, that steak and potatoes, and that pizza that we've been taught and trained and told to do. Instead, when you eat your potato, instead of filling it with all that fat and butter and margarine and cream cheese, put some salsa on it, some broccoli with a what they call it, a nut-based cheese or cream. These will help you to lose weight because you don't want to burn the sugar and store the fat. And if you're trying to lose weight, remember, think outside the box. Put some avocados and walnuts on your salad for your fat. Not heavy oil that you can almost pour 500 calories just out of the bottle and don't even give it a second thought. These foods still have fiber attached to them, so they're protecting you when you take them in. And then make your sauce, if you like to have a cheese sauce or some type of a sauce over your broccoli. Try some tahini. They call it gravy, but it's just a tahini sauce, or cashew. And there's ways that you can actually trick your brain and turn it green from carrots or peppers or even turmeric. Those are things that would trick the brain and you think you're eating, but by the time you doctor it up, as I say, and make it taste like a decent dish, you won't even miss that. So instead of putting that heavy cream dairy over your rice or your potatoes and your vegetables, make sure that you use something that your body recognizes as a food. Okay, again, this is all especially if you're trying to lose weight. And remember to leave 4 hours between your starches and your fats. Eat food, not edible, food-like substances out of packages, bright colored packages, bags, and things of that nature. These are fat and sugar combos, and you want to make sure that you're safe at the plate. Eat food as it's grown. So eat potatoes, not potato chips. Eat corn, not corn chips. Eat real food, not junk food. And don't use oils or any oil that you have in your house as your health food. It's not a health food. They didn't tell you the truth. You're just pouring fat over your food. So let's call an ace and a spade. That's not how you're going to get healthy. If you want olives in your salad, put the olive. Don't put the olive oil. There's other things you can create these with. We're going to have to give you some recipes because you don't want to grow your body. You're trying to maintain a healthy body. Did you know that oil is the white sugar of the fat world? Because when you combine them, that's exactly what it creates. So where is sugar hiding? It's in your canned foods, your sauces, and your frozen meals. These are places that these things are found, but you want to make sure that you're in control of it. Because you think about the canned foods, we got to teach you how to read food labels because the front of the can is not really where you should be looking. You have to look in the back under the ingredients section, not even where the calories are, but you want to look under the ingredients so you can see exactly what it is that you're taking into your body. Sauces, when you think about them, because there's a lot of those that really make our food taste good, but they have to put so many chemicals inside of it. And there's some words you definitely want to watch out for that are not on the back of the can, because now you're going to cause problems with your brain. These are brain altering chemicals that they put in foods for stabilization, for shelf life, and things of that nature. And a lot of these boxes and cans and packages that you see right here, the problem is lots of these foods are not really foods. They're parts of foods, and they don't have enough nutrition in them to give you nutrition. So eat fresh food first. Where is sugar It's hiding in everything that you can imagine. I'm just being honest. I didn't even put in here your spices. I started to because I had to go through my daughter's home to take a look at some of the things because she was wanting to lose weight. And I said, the first place you need to look at is at the things that you season and create your foods from, which is your spices. You will be so surprised at how many of the spices in your cabinets have sugar on the back of the label. And this Welch's grape jelly here, this is definitely one that definitely should come out of your house because it has high fructose corn syrup packed with it. And we know how dangerous that is. It's like legal crack. And so it's hiding in your salad dressings, Catalina. I mean, I used to eat some of these, but here's the thing. I make my own now. Sometimes I make it through beans, nuts, seeds, squash, whatever would give me the creamy texture. That's what I created from, but they taste just as good as these. My fruits, a mango berry dressing. I mean, you can make whatever you like. And we're going to have to teach you, like I said, how to do this so you don't get caught in this trap. Because sometimes when you want to have a salad, when you get to the dressing, it's like, oh, I don't really want to put that toxic dressing on my salad. And you don't. So please read the labels before you'll send yourself down in a lane that you really don't want to go down. So here's just a little bit of food label reading. I'm not going to teach a lot about it, but I tell people you have to be pretty much an ingredient inspector. But a lot of us have Heinz ketchup. But if you've been to fast food places, that's what they give you in the little tiny packages. And guess what? It's not good for you. Not only does it have a high fructose corn syrup in it, it also has corn syrup. That's two sugars, and then some flavorings that you don't even know what they are. So you want to be careful not to use Heinz ketchup. Now to the right, you can use True Made Foods ketchup. It's a better ketchup. As you can see, it's got other things inside of it. Has no sugar, and it's sweetened with apples. Okay, just telling you because we got to do better at what we're doing. Del Monte, it too has high fructose corn syrup. We already talked about Heinz, but I also wanted to show you some other Heinz products too, like your relishes, your horseradish. Make sure you read the labels, okay? Because you definitely don't want to bring these into your home and then you end up paying a price later. Some other hidden ingredients are, this one is, I want to say, is safer, even though it has some, because it has cane sugar. But I don't want you to get used to eating a lot of sugar. Once you start taking yourself off of sugar, that sweet taste or tooth that you have is going to go away. But these don't have high fructose corn syrup, no artificial flavors or natural flavors, artificial colors or corn syrups, and no chemical preservatives. You might want to take a picture of these because it's not easy to find them. So these are some that you can definitely bring into your home so you don't feel like you have to cut out every single thing in your home that you're used to. Did you also know that sugar is hiding in your mayonnaise? It is. And so you want to be careful of that. Not only does it have fat, because what is mayonnaise? Eggs and oil, right? Yeah, that's what it is. But this has soybean oil, has natural flavors, which is not good, and some other things as we already know, but it also has sugar. Okay, so be careful of your mayonnaise and what you choose. Make sure that you read the ingredients. Okay, it's because this stuff is at NIK, not in the kitchen. And then here's Heinz. Heinz too has a mayonnaise that should be in your home, and they banned it at Whole Foods already. So be mindful again to please read the ingredient labels because these are not safe foods to have in your home. Kraft was also banned at Whole Foods, okay, even though they say it's a real mayo, but it's also really a food that's made with chemicals, soybean oil, sugar, natural flavors, and then this long chemical. Look at this word, how long it is. I don't even know what that word is, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but I would look it up, find out what it is, because I'm not putting that in my mouth and I can't even pronounce it. Don't do that. And then, of course, you want to be careful of the mustards that you bring in. You can make your own. Remember, I told you use raw honeys when you do that. Or, sweeteners that you recognize, because these can be dangerous and toxic to your body, okay? So just pay attention to them and make sure you're not doing white sugars or processed sugars when you use them as your condiment. Now, I'm not a soda drinker, but for those who are, I don't know if it's you. You might be going, well, I don't drink Coke, I drink Pepsi. I could have put Pepsi up here, wouldn't matter. But this is what happens to you after drinking Coke. 10 minutes. First of all, it's 10 teaspoons of sugar that hit your system. In 20 minutes, your blood sugar spikes, causing the insulin to burst. Your liver responds by turning any sugar it can into fat, by the way. In 40 minutes, caffeine, which is a legal drug, by the way, is complete, and your pupils dilate, your blood pressure rises, and as a response, the liver dumps more sugar into your bloodstream. In 45 minutes, your body ups the dopamine that's in the brain production, stimulating the pleasure center of your brain. We have a pleasure center, but we don't need it to be tricked by a chemical. In 60 minutes, sulfuric acid binds calcium, magnesium, and zinc in your lower intestines, providing it further to boost the metabolism, increasing the urinary excretion of calcium. And then in 60 minutes also, caffeine's diuretic properties come to play, making your pee or urination and evacuation, and bonds calcium, magnesium, and zinc that were headed to your bones, as well as sodium, electrolytes, and water. And in the last 60 minutes, as a rare inside of you dies down, you'll start to have a sugar crash. And you may be irritated or sluggish from this Coca-Cola. Things don't go better with Coke. So let's talk about substitute sweeteners, because they're actually more dangerous, because not only they're not a sugar, they're a chemical. And they actually can really irritate the excitotoxins of the brain, causing dementia, Alzheimer's, and anything that has to do with altering the brain. There's a lot of people on these things. You see the killings and shootings and all those things. It's not about gun control. It's about brain control, because whatever you eat in your mouth, you're feeding your brain. Your brain feeds your body. And if you fuel it with the wrong fuel, you are not doing your body a good service. So the first chemical sweetener, artificial, and that means not real, by the way, is known as aspartame, and that's equal. It's not equal. There's 5,000 products on the market that have it in it, and it changes the body and brain chemistry. Aspartame, it's equal and NutraSweet. Now, I'm sorry, the aspartame is a sweet and low, sorry. Or aspartame disease, that's another name for it, by the way. But aspartame is so dangerous that it causes headaches, seizures, dizziness, numbness, tingling of the fingers, fibromyalgia, and it causes increased weight gain and cravings. So even though you drink this, a lot of people drink those diet sodas or 1-calorie drinks. The problem is it may be 1 calorie, but because it causes you to crave, the calories may be low from the soda or whatever it is that you're drinking, but what you'll eat afterwards, you might as well have left the soda alone. It causes insomnia, causes birth defects, numbness in your legs. Anybody have neuropathy and don't know where it comes from? Depression, vertigo, a lot of that going on these days. Shooting pains, joint pains, and mood swings. That's from this blue equal, by the way. It's not equal in health for sure. And then sweet and low, it actually has on the package something called phenylketonuria. It also says can cause cancer. That's a carcinogenic. That means it causes cancer. Sweet and low causes cancer. Why would you take that in your body? And the last one, there is actually false advertising for Splenda. And the gentleman that I used to bring in my class and tell he worked for Splenda, they couldn't have it on their hands, couldn't walk out the doors with it, how toxic it was. But it was actually banned in certain countries. But he said, just tell your people to surrender to Splenda. Okay. And because the things and chemicals that it's made for is more toxic than what you're actually getting from it, which is a sweet tooth or in a sweet sensation for whatever it is that you're trying to sweeten. So it's time for an upgrade. Foods to 100% avoid at all costs. Okay. White sugars, high fructose corn syrup, HFCF for short, corn syrup, any artificial sweetener like I just showed you, and any sweeteners that are listed on the label that you don't recognize. Remove all the white sugars, artificial sweeteners, syrups, processed drinks, juices, and foods, any ingredients in your home that could be toxic to your health. Now, I'm not trying to down anybody for what they choose to eat because guess what? I don't care what I'm saying tonight. You're going to decide what you're going to have tomorrow anyway. But I just need to tell you, naked, it's naked of nutrients, that's for sure. V8 Splash, they splashed it with something that shouldn't have been in there. And all these Dunkin' Donuts drink, you're going to look like the Dunkin' Donuts man when you get through. So you don't want to blow your body up with things that don't bring nutrition or life to your temple. And so I wanted to give you some sugar replacements, some solutions for you so you have some better choices. Obviously, fruit is always best, okay? Water content is beautiful in color. It tastes amazing. You can make smoothies out of it, smoothie bowls, fruit cups. You can do so much with it. Dates and figs, that's what was eaten in the Bible to sweeten their sweet tooth, okay? Stevia, because it's an herb, make sure that you read the labels on the stevia package because today they know that people are on to stevia, so they have been sneaking other chemicals in there with it. Make sure that's not you, that you don't get a tricked or food stevia that is stevia on the front, but something else on the back, okay? And then raw honey, make sure it says raw, it's thick and creamy, it's not see-through. Monk fruit is actually made from the monk fruit, okay? Make sure nothing else is in it because they do trick you and put other stuff in there. Coconut meat, it's actually nice and sweet, or your coconut milk. Then your maple syrup grade B. These are some of your sweeter replacements. So replace the things that you have in your house with some things that are better for you in your house. You'll be glad that you did. And for those people that are watching their weight, just cut back on your sweetener. Because when you start cutting back, you're not going to want to take in as much of it as you have in the past. Now, these are two books because this lady by the name of Nancy Appleton, she was addicted 3 times, addicted to sugar. So much so that it was almost damaging her life. So she wrote 2 books. It's called Suicide by Sugar because she almost committed it, and then Lick the Sugar Habit. If you are one of those people that really are having a problem with the sugar thing, just feel like you just can't do without it, you might want to read this book. She also, which I can make sure and make this available to you online, I'll send it to the church. She has 147 reasons why sugar damages your body. If you saw that list, you might want to think twice about even taking sugar in general. But I just thought you should know about it because there are some people that not only do they need prayer, they're going to have a renewal of the mind to get themselves out of this place because this chemical has tricked their body and they don't even know why they're dealing with some of the things that they're dealing with. And it could be the underlying current could be sugar. So your health is your wealth. I want you to live long, live strong, okay? A long life and stronger because you have the power to do that. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. And I hope that you've learned a lot. I hope that you understand the rules of the game when it comes to health because you not only have the rules, you have the tools, and you have the power to win over sickness and disease just by making the right choices. God bless you tonight.
Hey, Lifeline! It's time for your community updates.
Lifeline, we are focusing on faith, fitness, finance, and family every month for the year of 2023.
All we do is tithe, no matter what. God's plan to prosper us, and we going up. Cause we are no lack nation, and we going up. And we'll stay there, and we'll stay there, and we'll stay there. Up. Cause all we do is tithe. 100% we tithe. Yeah!
One of the things I'm most grateful about regarding Lifeline Church is life groups. Yep, small groups. We don't do life alone. Small groups is where you can go, you can meet new people, have accountability partners, grow in the scriptures. You can pray with people. Just all kinds of great things come with being a part of a life group. Well, we have a new group that's coming, and it is called Husbands Boot Camp. I am leading a new group, Husbands Boot Camp for men between the ages of 20 and 40, married and engaged. It is going to be a good one, okay? We're going to get together. We're going to talk around scripture, talk around life, talk around being a husband, talk around our strengths and our weaknesses, our victories, our learning things, all this good stuff. It is going to be powerful. So go now to the website, go to the mobile app, and sign yourself up, brothers, for a Husband's Boot Camp, 20 to 40, married and engaged. It's going to be a good one.
Lifeline, it's time to celebrate good times. Come on. What is happening? Lifeline is turning 16. Happy birthday, Lifeline.
Crave girls 13 and up. Y'all remember how we were never invited to the Winning Women pajama party? Well, guess what? Now we are! Wait, what is the theme again?
The theme is in living color. Winning women make some noise. Hey, in living color. This is gonna be happening on Friday, March 10th from 8 to 1.
The cost is $10 per person, and you'll need to select the color of your PJs that you want to wear.
So get on our website and buy some tickets. What you doing? Get down with the Winning Women. Hey.
Liberty offering is April 30th. And remember, this is separate from your tithes. And as Pastor says, participate in the plan God has to prosper your life.
LC Partners and Friends, we are shaping our culture of evangelism and discipleship. Don't forget to turn in your discipleship/evangelism cards.
These cards are here to aid you as you love people in your circle, relationships, families, and friends, and environment, co-workers, neighborhoods, and acquaintances, with the goal of leading them to the greatest relationship of all, a relationship with Christ. Additional cards are available with our LC graders.
Hey! We do have a lot going on here, so the best way to stay in contact with us is to check out our website and or our mobile app.
Don't forget the Real Life Talk Show airs every Sunday and Wednesday before service.
Now you know Lifeline is a church where love flows like a river. So catch the vision by reaching up to God,
reaching into your fellow brothers and sisters,
reaching out to the community with the love of God.
See ya!
Bye!
Hold on. Cut. See y'all next time. What is your motivation?
Like, well done. Take 59.
Cut.